Hello and welcome back to the Chicken Coop podcast, where the only thing written down is the prompts, so I can even remember to write them the fuck down. I'm Lena. Today I'm joined by my good friend Evan.
Hi, I'm Evan.
Today we don't have a prompt because apparently it's him. It being his first time on the podcast has written 2 fucking pages worth of stories.
2.5.
Okay, 2.5.
This is the most prepared I've ever been for a podcast in my entire life.
For any podcast ever.
For any podcast ever. This is the only one I've ever prepared for.
I know, it's crazy. We're going to be yelling at Sadie the entire time, so if you hear any keyboard clicking or if you hear a phone go up and down, that's what that is. Anybody who actually listens to this shit.
Yeah, anybody.
Whoever have found this cursed video.
Whoever's dug it up out of the labyrinth of hell.
I know.
Hopefully this breaks out. I'm going to try to make it interesting.
I know. It's going to be great. Oh, God. All right, here.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Love this. We got to have a nice little segue first, all right? We got to keep it nice and cool. How's your day?
Of course.
How's your week been? How's kind of like your life been?
My week? Oh, my God. My week has been the most boring and the most interesting at the same time.
Oh, how so? Because that sounds weird.
It is very weird, mostly because the beginning of the week was just the basic peasants of everyday life pestering the absolute hell out of me on a daily basis, obviously. Junior in high school,
exactly.
The normal everyday struggle of a high school student.
Of these children not leaving me alone.
Exactly. I can't go throughout my day without a small child who's just come fresh out of 8th grade staring at me like I'm some sort of monster from the 7th circle of hell.
Except you're either a monster or like they're staring at you like God, second coming of Jesus.
Oh God, what is that?
Who are you?
Oh, okay.
I didn't know people could be that tall.
I'm not that tall. I'm pretty decently sized, I'd say myself.
Well, yeah, but I mean, compared to like the shorties in fucking 8th grade, coming out of 8th grade.
That is true.
We are mongoloid people.
I've just been having fun trying because it's towards the end of the year. Obviously, ACTs are going to be coming up very soon.
Oh hell yeah!
I have to prepare for that kind of. Because I don't prepare very well. Only for things that aren't important.
Exactly. Me too. It's like the fucking... I'm not even prepared for that shit. All I know is that at some point next week, like Monday or Tuesday, we're having a pre-ACT like test, which is just you come in with all your info to write it down.
Now, I did take my pre-ACT already. I took my practice one.
I've taken fun practice. Luckily, my studio is completely ACT practice. So that's all we did for the whole first half of the year.
Sounds gross.
It was really good, honestly.
Ours was like shotgun. It was so gross. It was like out of nowhere, shotgun, practice ACT. I whipped out a 25 on it.
Oh, damn.
Which I guess is okay.
I've been whipping out like 22s and like 25s on like my English one when we took them in English like a month back as practice. And so I'm fucking proud of that. That's like one of the only things I'm proud of is like, look, I did good on the test.
I'm like naturally good at English, and it's super weird because I hate English class. I've never enjoyed an English class.
Oh, damn. I'm naturally good at English, even though I don't know the language.
I don't know the language. I don't speak any other language but English, but I don't know English either.
Exactly. Oh, God. But the only thing I've done this week is there was a pep rally today, which was, you'd think because it's a pep rally, it'd be kind of fun, but it was the most boring shit ever.
I do definitely agree with that.
It was just horrible because it was like the same thing, like, you know, the spirit stick and you got to yell as loud as you can at certain points.
Absolutely,
but it was like,
yes.
It's like every time we have had a pep rally or even like just like a general beginning of the year like assembly that they always do, it has every time gone to the seniors, and it's like I don't fucking care anymore because I'm a junior. I don't care about school spirit. I just want to get the fuck to the next grade so I can leave.
I've never understood the gist of a pep rally. I mean, I know that what the gist originally was intended to be as a pep rally, exactly. Literally what the name is, to hype people up. But everybody walks in there in pajama pants with no hype at all.
I know.
And that's me. I'm that guy who bums up in there in pajama pants and a pair of man Uggs and a dirty white T-shirt with earbuds in, half asleep from the last class over. Because that's what I do in math classes, and it's every time. It's math class, then pep rally, and then I go home.
Oh, damn. I've never like done that. We always do it in like the morning, and I've never gone to school in like sweatpants. I've always been wearing like pants or shorts. And then like
I don't know how you do that, dude. Look, I
it's
try to stay professional.
Well, no.
I try.
It's because the way I do it with pants is I have one pair of pants and nothing ever gets on them. So I literally just wear that same pair of pants the entire 5-day week and wash them on the weekend.
Oh my God. Thank God someone else has done the same thing as I do. It's like procrastinating on doing laundry.
Yes.
You don't have to If nothing gets on the pants, they're good for a second day.
I know. Well, that's the gist too. I don't have to do laundry because back at the old house, back before we moved, back when I was down in Virginia, I did do my own laundry. It was whenever I could remember, I'd throw it in and be like, okay, there you go. But it was like, then we moved here and we got a new washer and dryer. So they haven't let me touch it.
And you forgot how to use it.
No, they haven't let me touch it. They haven't let me touch
Oh.
it. She was just like, no, you're not touching my new thing. And I was like, okay, here's my underwear.
You can do my laundry now, slave.
Here's the cum sock. All right, don't touch it.
Don't stick your hand in it. Don't pull it inside out. Just put it in the washing machine.
Oh, that's great.
Here's my children-filled sock. This could have been your grandkids, but no.
Oh, God.
Now they live inside of a sock. And
I have no hope of reproducing.
You have no hope of reproducing? Jesus.
No, I don't. Most closest I could get is having friends who happen to be female. Like Sadie. Like, it's like, that's as close as I can get.
Maybe. The closest I'm getting to giving my parents grandchildren is by accident.
Exactly. It's like maybe.
Take that as you will.
Maybe at somehow at some point it happens by accident, or I get pity sex. One of the two.
Pity sex. I don't think that's an actual thing, is it?
I've heard it's. I know.
I know anger sex and an apology sex is a thing, but I don't know about pity sex.
And like breakup sex. I've heard the term before. I don't know why. I don't know
sex, yeah, I've heard of that.
I might have heard the term because I thought it was the only way I was going to get laid at some point, but you know.
Now, this is a great caveat into a story of mine.
There you go.
we had to get into it a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. We're like almost there. Now we can get into the good shit. We're almost there. And I also got a message from Sadie, update on that shit. She is apparently in a call right now for some fucking reason.
She's in a call with Zach.
That's why she's looking at that dick through the camera.
For the crowd who somehow manages to do this up, Zach is Sadie's man of the hour.
Sadie's man and Evan's friend, and she said she's gonna call, and I said, well, we're gonna be here for a while if you want to join in later.
Doing a pretty saucy podcast, should get in on it.
Exactly. The thing that's actually gonna be edited for the first time in ages.
Oh, you're gonna edit this one?
I'm not. It's not getting cut down or anything. It's only that there's gonna be a nice intro, and I'll remember to add annotations at the end.
All right.
Everything.
You should remember to add annotations. Like, I couldn't do it the first time, but we're gonna remember.
You know,
this time.
The first 4 I forgot, but okay.
That's fine. It's all good.
I need to figure out how to get it on Spotify. All right, go get it on the story.
It's story time. All right, this is gonna be my first. The story of the first time I ever learned what sex was.
Oh no.
It was okay. So we're gonna set the table here. 2008 was my kindergarten year, but 2 years later, second grade year, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the math is right on that.
No, it's not.
No, it was 2010 to 2011. It was towards December, January time, because I remember it being near Christmas break. We were on the bus coming home from school, obviously, the week before Christmas break. Everybody was hype. Everybody was ready to get off Christmas break and do nothing, because that's what elementary school kids did back in 2011.
I'm hyped to sit in front of the TV for a few weeks.
I'm hyped to watch Teen Titans, that show I'm not supposed to watch it, however old I was in second grade.
I know, exactly.
So I get on the bus and I go to the back because I was friends with some of the older kids at the time for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I was always the shy kid, but they always picked on me, and I always thought it was funny to pick on myself too.
You were the cool kid.
I'm gonna guess that's where the problem started. I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
You got the depression humor early.
So I go back there and they're talking about, like, they say sperm. I'm like, whoa, what's that? That sounds like a fun word. They're like, you don't know what sperm is, do you? I'm like, no, not at all.
Oh, no.
They're like, all right, we're gonna teach you what it is and what sex is. I was like, oh no.
Hold on a minute.
Internally, I was like, oh yeah. Other way around. Internally, I was like, oh no, mom's gonna find out somehow because she has superpowers. Because I was still under that impression that mom has superpowers and she knows exactly what I'm doing all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like, mom's gonna come home and know that I learned. So I tried to keep my best composure. I was like, all right, I guess I'll listen to it. So, surprisingly, they were like super accurate on it. Like, there was no exaggerations to it. It was so accurate.
It was just
except for
on.
Like there was like 2 details that weren't right.
That stuck out to you.
I'm gonna exploit those details as much as I possibly can. So they go through the basic birds and bees thing, like mother and father, that they suck face for a little bit, and then clothes come off, blase blase. And they were like, so what you do is you stick that thing in your pants in the pee hole. I was like, wait, what? They're like, yeah. You know how we have this thing? Females have that thing, and you
Oh no.
put it in there. And I didn't know at the time that there was two separate things.
Oh no.
I only knew there was one.
They
And at that
ruptured
time,
the
I was
pure
taught there
mind.
one. They were like, but the challenge is to do it and try not to get peed on.
Whoa, no. It's a
And
South Park episode.
I don't think it was intended to be a prank, but I totally bought it because they were fifth graders. And I was like,
Yes.
these are the gods of my world now. Nothing is more important than making myself seem cool to fifth graders.
Oh no.
Because I was like, I will be damned if I'm bullied by a bunch of eighth graders. Like, not eighth graders, fifth graders. I will be damned if I'm bullied by a bunch of eighth graders.
Exactly.
Children. People who are growing arm hair, and it's scary.
I don't know. Just right
So
there.
they told me that, and I come off the bus, and I'm obviously shaking a little bit because I'm like, oh, I just received God level knowledge,
The talk.
and my parents don't know. They don't know. They have no idea. So I come in the house, and of course, just like I figured, Mom immediately knows instantly something's wrong with my kid. He knows something because I walk in the door cheesing super hard. I got the biggest smile stretched across my face, like the dumbest fucking smile on my face. And she was like, so how was the bus ride home? And it was a different question because it wasn't how was your day at school? No,
Yeah.
She started off with how was the bus? I was like, oh no.
Oh.
She knows. She knows.
She was getting you.
She knows immediately. But I look back on it today and I realize I don't think she actually knew. I just think she thought something funny happened. And
Exactly. She was probably just thinking something happened on the bus ride.
So I
'cause
come
you
on
were
the
so
door. I was
happy.
like, oh, nothing much. Guys were telling jokes. And she was like, oh, what kind of jokes? I was like, oh no.
Oh, no.
But what the knowledge I didn't know was that previously there was a call sent home from the bus driver being like, hey, these fifth graders are making some really nasty jokes. So if your kid isn't ready for it, let us know.
Oh my god.
Or just prepare your child. And they were like, okay. And my mom was like, all right. So she gets off the phone with them. I come through the door. I bust through the door. That's
the ultimate like fates aligned moment.
It is. That's why it's on the sheet.
Oh my
it's
god.
somewhere towards the back. Because I thought we were gonna get to that later. No, that's the first one on the deck.
That's the segue.
It's the segue episode.
Oh my god.
So she keeps asking me. Eventually we drop it because I'm just like I'm being a stubborn small child that don't want to talk about it. I was in the peak lying phase of my time.
Oh, nice.
Where I would literally die before I admitted to doing anything
Exactly.
against my mother's word, even if it wasn't anything bad.
That's like the best time of your life right there.
The secret to my life was deny, 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 and that was all I ever knew was never tell the truth, even though I was always brought up to always tell the truth.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. Like, I go in my room, I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna know. She's gonna find out somehow. And dinner back in the good old days, it still kind of is today for our family. Days. But it still kind of is for our family. Dinner is always the family time. It's always designated. You sit at the table. You discuss your day. You discuss major news, life lessons, school. We have a round table on purpose, and I love my dad. And he purchased the round table because of, Lancelot, the knights.
Sure.
The round table. Everybody gets equal opportunity, sort of thing. And it was equal opportunity. We all got to discuss it.
That's crazy.
The baton gets passed to me in the middle of eating my pork chops. Mom was like, so you ever going to tell us about those jokes? I was like,
Oh, no.
I was like, oh, it was just stupid poop jokes, which you believed, obviously.
Yeah.
So after the next day, we get on the bus in the morning, and usually no one's talkative on the bus in the morning. Everybody's usually pretty quiet. Nothing's going on. We get on the bus. And they're like, hey, come sit back here again. I was like, oh, all right. They come back here like, dude, we totally messed up. I was like, why? He was like, we told you the wrong thing. I was like, oh, what's going on? They were like, turns out sex has got something to do with eggs. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting development. Tell me more.
Oh.
And they're like, apparently you take an egg and then you do this thing and you pee in the egg. I was like, how do you do that?
No.
They were like, look, man, I don't know.
Look, I'll show you.
From the internet. They're like, you're supposed to do the sperm thing in an egg. And I was like, so you're telling me if I want to have a kid, it has something to do with eggs.
That's so weird. That's like the weirdest.
Every child gets a different iteration of the story, but I believe mine is the dumbest. Because they got it right the first time.
They did. Exactly.
They got it so close on the first try, pinpoint almost. Just missed the mark a little bit, and that is a pun.
A small detail.
They just missed the mark by a little bit. Wrong hole.
Oh my god. That's fucking insane.
It was so whack. Some of my school times are just so filled with dumb stories that kids wanted to tell me.
Great stories. Oof. That's insane.
Do you remember the times in elementary school, like gym class or recess, where we treated everything like the fucking Olympics?
Not really, honestly.
You don't remember? You didn't have that? You didn't have the indoor sports where everybody treated it like it was the last time they'd ever get to play sports?
I remember that. I don't remember specifics, but I remember, yes.
Oh, yeah. It was like just the general idea of like gym sports being introduced and everybody competing like national television.
Yeah, when game time hit, it was just like you did it or you died kind of moment.
Yeah. Everything hit the fan. As soon as the whistle blew, everything was going down. Everybody was like super into it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the scooters, the parachute.
Yes. Oh, dude, the little like 4-wheeled skateboards. The
thing that you like sat on with your knuckles always get crushed by them.
I would sit like on my knees or like just like fucking the good old days, the crisscross applesauce, and then just use my hands like a monkey.
You see, my trick was, because I was always undefeated in that scooter sport. It was my favorite sport because I was the best at it. Because the secret was not to go forward. It was always to go in reverse and look behind you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could get more lit. You could get more power pushing off.
You just kick.
Instead of, you just kick off. You donkey kick off. And you get more thrust off of it, so no one else can catch you.
It was either do that or you'd hold onto the handles and stand up and run with it on the floor and then hop on it.
Like, I don't think we ever got to do that. We never got to get off the scooter.
That was not a part of the games, but I mean, like, if they just got out, you would just you would have it on the floor and hold onto it and run, like, bending over.
I do remember that. But I was always the sleeper in that sport. You always wanted me on your team because I was the fastest, undisputed third grade champion at scooter sports because I was never beaten.
Oh my god, that's great. I was never beaten. They never took that title from me.
I may have lost in many other sports, and I may have taken an L in many other things, but you will never beat me in third grade sports.
I may have lost the smarts, but I had the scooter prowess.
And I ride a Razor scooter to this day, so that just shows you
the impact it had on your life.
The impact third grade sports had on my entire existence.
That's sick. That's so good.
I was the Michael Jordan of third grade scooter tag. The Michael Jordan of scooter tag, and that's what I live up to be. That's what it was, because we had a frisbee. Because I remember we had these foam frisbees, and that you were the tagger if you had the frisbee, and you had to like sit out, and they'd tag you back in. I was never the tagger because I never liked being tagger. I liked being the guy that you had to come and get. You had to get the whole team on me first. I was the priority because if we let this kid go, he's going to be a problem later, and it's going to be like a 1v1, and we're never going to catch a dude.
Oh, no. We're never going to catch him.
I remember the first time I won one of those games, because it was the first time I figured out that when you go backwards, you go faster.
Yeah.
It was my first time, third grade, of course, beginning of the year, gym class. It was because when it was called specials in our time. Uh-huh. It was called specials because it was special ed classes, not special ed.
Special ed classes.
It was just your special non-curricular activities like music.
It made people eligible to go to special ed because they kept falling over.
Yeah. Gym was always on Wednesdays. I remember that. Gym class was always on Wednesdays for third graders.
It was a specific day.
It was always a specific day of the week, no matter what. And sometimes you got double gym if the other teacher was out, if there was no sub, which I did. We did get double gym a couple times.
Nice.
Which was like my favorite stuff. I remember it was the first Wednesday of the school year, and previously in second grade, I had just figured out going backwards saves you from literally everything. And I hadn't picked up my strategy yet of going backwards. I hadn't finessed it. Then I figured it out. So first Wednesday of the school year, I go straight ham on this scooter tag thing.
Oh my god, that's great. You just became you became the god of scooter tag.
I became the god of scooter tag, and that's some people. I shit you not. I've seen so many people in public who remember me by you were that one kid really good at scooter tag.
That's so good.
Because I was the red ginger curly headed kid with the long legs.
Exactly.
You would just donkey kick off like from the start because you would always start
like against the wall or just like something
against the wall in a circle, and you would just spread out and book it.
That's so good. Like,
oh my god, it was so good. I laughed so hard when my friend Jay Sebring came up to me in Walmart because he had moved. He came up to me. He was like, "I think I remember you. I remember playing scooter tag with you in 3rd grade. Oh my god!" I was like, "Yes, this is what I lived up to be.
This is why I trained."
I had the women, dude. I was the biggest thought. I was the Wilt Chamberlain of 3rd grade because I was the best. Wilt Chamberlain at his time, at his peak, was the best in basketball. I was the best in scooter tag in 3rd grade. I had the women. I had it lining up for me. I had options.
I had them lining up to give me cooties.
And I was the best at division, so I knew how to. I was a bomb at math. I could multiply, I could divide, I could calculate percent.
Exactly.
I knew everything. I knew how to multiply fractions. You couldn't touch me in math class.
I knew
no way.
I knew exactly how much to give him to twiddle my weenie. You don't understand.
Exactly. You have no idea. I was untouchable in 3rd grade. That was my prime year in elementary school. Not even 5th grade when I was at the top of everything. I was the king of everything in 5th grade. No, I was, if anything, I was at my lowest point in 5th grade. I had dropped off completely.
That's so good.
Which caveats into a different, because we're going to stick to the schoolyard BS until I start getting into more interesting topic. Yeah, this my power hour. I'm going to abuse this, right?
Exactly.
Rolls around to 5th grade. 4th grade was really uneventful. I don't remember most of it because nothing ever happened. I had a really sucky teacher. None of my friends were in that class. I didn't have any of my best friends that I had made in like 2nd, 3rd grade, who I'm still friends with today, most of them, because we went to the same middle school. I ended up switching high schools, but that's a different thing for later, probably. Later podcast, later in the podcast. I don't know.
So
we might discuss it later. Yeah. So I roll around to 5th grade. And this is when the principal comes on the announcements one day. He finally allowed us to start doing football because we weren't allowed to play football any other time until this year. They were like, when you go outside for recess, you are allowed to play football. And I was like, this is my time. Because originally it was basketball because we used to play basketball out it was either that or kickball. And I was always not that good at kickball because I used to get super pissed all the time.
Exactly. You'd just be like,
So I was like, this is a new sport. It's time for me to show out a little bit because not only was I the best at scooter tag, I was the sleeper of some of the fastest among the 5th graders.
Oh, no.
No one ever challenged me to a race, but no one ever knew that I was really fast. There was a lot of girls who were fast, but they never knew that I was fast.
They never knew because they never talked to me. I had
we played basketball. I wasn't that good at it. I mean, I made layups sometimes, but overall, I wasn't really the best at basketball. So we come out football. My friend Elijah Reed brings his football that day. For some reason, I guess he knew or something. I guess he had an insider source.
He got your mom to tell him.
Fucking. So we go out into the play yard. Now in Woodlawn, where I went to elementary school, out here in good old Clarksville, Tennessee, Woodlawn, Tennessee specifically. There's this big field right behind our school that the teachers would come and watch us play football at because there was the playground, and then off to a little bit to the right there was a big flat stretch of field where we could play football. So we go out there, and they're picking teams. I'm one of the last picked to Elijah's team because he knew me.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going to take this kid because he was pretty good at scooter tag. And then it just set up my reputation.
I want to see how he amounts in football.
Sport. Yeah, so they're like, we're going to put Evan at like tight end or something. I think that's what it was. I'm not too familiar. I'm okay at most sports. I'm familiar with a lot of sports because I want to be I kind of want to be a sportscaster when I get older, but I'm kind of bouncing between that. Anyway, so they put me at like tight end or something. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. I got a tank top on. I'm in shorts. I'm in running shoes. I'm game on. So Elijah Reed's gonna be our freaking. He's gonna be our quarterback. Elijah Wood's going to be our quarterback. I'm going to tell you about Elijah Wood later and what happened to him. But Elijah Reed sits here up at the top. He's quarterback. We get the ball first. And now the first play, nothing spectacular happens. He can't find anybody open. Runs right down the middle. Gets tagged. It's two-hand touch, obviously, because tackle would be a little bit too violent. two-hand touch. Second or third, I think it was third down because I remember them talking about third down, and I ended up figuring out how to play the sport through playing out in the yard.
Yeah.
Third down, we haven't gotten many yards, and the end zones were like we discussed it beforehand.
Yeah.
Where the end zone.
It was like a pre-marked area.
So he was like, I need someone to go deep. I was like, I'll do it. And he was like, no. But someone goes deep, he's covered, and I come off to the right. I shoot out to the right. And he throws the ball to me. And I catch him like, oh, game time. And I activate this like super football
ultra instinct.
Robotic ultra instinct mode in 5th grade football. I catch the ball, I rear back and break out into this like ultra hyper speed sprint straight down the line. Some kid tries to come over to attack me, duck under him, he falls over the back of my legs, cut through the middle, get a touchdown. And like, oh my god, who is this kid? What happened to him?
That's so good.
This carries out all the way through 5th grade. 5th grade ends. 6th grade.
You're like
nothing.
You're a prodigy.
Sad prodigy in elementary school. 6th grade was my emo year. 6th grade and 7th grade was when I got the emo vibe.
Fucking 6th and 7th was when I became the emo ginger.
Oh yeah, no, that was a bad time.
That was a bad day.
I love how this is just turning into a life story of how I was brought into this world as who I am.
Of how I went from hearing about peeing in eggs on the bus to suddenly being the best at scooter tag.
The best at scooter tag and sports in general. Oh god, that's terrible.
This is great.
I don't want to clog up so much time slot with my life story.
Title of the podcast: From peeing in eggs to scooter tag professional.
From peeing beginnings to salty M's.
Oh my gosh.
Not to mention, I actually met Sadie in 3rd grade in gym class. That's where we started talking, was in 3rd grade gym class. And to this day, we still talk, we still hang out.
Exactly.
One of my favorite people on the planet. Yes. Wish she was in here.
I know. If only she'd stop looking at the dick.
I've been hopping off Discord every now and then to go text her and be like, hey, get on, I'm talking about you.
I know. Exactly.
Evan's hyping you up, get in the podcast.
Quick! This is the prime time.
I don't know if you've had Sadie on podcast. Haven't you had Sadie on some podcasts before?
Yeah. I've had me, Sadie, and a friend of ours, Edward, down from Virginia. I would have gotten him on now, but for whatever reason, he was busy. Or he just has picked up or whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, fine. I could get...
Well, for the people who have watched this, who aren't us, because I'm going to go back and watch this later and review myself.
You can go to the playlist and build up to this video.
I will build up to this video because I want to see what the quality is coming out of me.
Slightly good. You can
I feel like it's gonna be all right.
You can see the quality of you talking, and also how the quality of the podcast just like kind of very drastically goes down and then back up.
All right, I think I'm gonna do it later. I'm gonna spend an hour in my bed while I sit there and stew over my day's events and listen to the podcast I was included in. God. Great opportunity. I love the fact that you offered to bring me into this. I love this.
Well, I'm also, by the way, you said tonight. Yeah, it's not getting posted tonight, dude.
Oh, I know, but not tonight. I meant like another night when I stew on my day's events in bed.
Exactly. But it's gonna be. My plan is I also have to do a little bit more research over the weekend. It's going to be edited on Saturday or Sunday, whichever, because it's literally adding an intro and then that's it. Because then it's just throwing it into the YouTube server and then saying at the end to put this here and this here. Thank you. And then I'm fucking done. But it's just I also have to figure out how to get it on fucking Spotify because I want it to branch out farther instead of just being on YouTube.
I'm so ready. If it could branch out, I would love to be on as many of these as I possibly can.
I just need to know how to get it to Spotify because I fucking Googled it and there was nothing. Granted, I was in a Mexican restaurant with no Wi-Fi, but there was nothing.
I'll try and help you out on that. I think I might be able to get some. I know iTunes has a thing, but I don't think anybody listens to iTunes podcast.
I know. I could throw it up there because I'd have to upload this one, but I'd also want to upload all the other ones first.
Just be like, hey, at the end of the video, hey, check us out on Spotify too.
Exactly. Links in the description to the Spotify and the iTunes if you want to go listen to those anywhere without internet, whatever. But I remember earlier this week, I fucking was like, we're gonna bring the podcast back, and I looked through my folder of old podcasts where I have the logo in the background and everything, and I only had 3 of the 4, and I was like, okay, but I couldn't tell if when I clicked on properties and went to the date it was created or something like that.
Yes.
Right here, created, it says Sunday, December 30th of 2018. but that's when I moved the file over to this one. Like, so it was like I had no idea when it was made. So I had to go through and I looked at the time. Like, how long is it? Fucking, how long is it? An hour 26? And then I went to the channel and just checked. Hour 26? It's this one. And then, and then I had to download another one. I had to fucking use like one of those things where it's like YouTube video downloader where you put a fucking URL in and it just downloads it for you. I had to use that to get the fourth one in so I could have all of them on.
Yeah, I get that.
Exactly.
Slightly understand computer lingo, just enough.
Enough to know what a file is.
Love how my graduating focus is CTE and mechatronics, and I can't even understand computer talk sometimes.
Exactly. You got to take fucking Microsoft Office specialist like me. So
I did. So I totally did.
Oh, did you get certified in anything?
No, because I failed.
Oh, I was gonna say take it like it because you get a paper hanging up on the wall behind you.
I might be Siemens certified if I could pass that test and not totally suck at that.
Oh my god, I have 2 papers right now. We haven't gotten through PowerPoint yet. We're like halfway through it, but I have for a Word and Excel hanging up on my wall back there.
Well, actually, to be fair, I am certified in Excel.
Okay, fair enough.
That's different because I passed that portion.
You can make spreadsheets, and then you just
I can make big old graphs, and then that's it. That's about it. That's about the peak of my knowledge.
Fucking, I can make a spreadsheet for your company. I can't do a text document or a PowerPoint though.
I probably could, but it wouldn't be as good.
I know. It's like I probably could. Don't know the lingo or what the file tab is.
Certified in Excel, but hates Excel at the same time because I hate it so much. I hate it in the worst way possible.
Horrible. It's like
it's primitive.
It's the most versatile. Don't get me wrong, because you can have equations and everything put in, and you can actually like generate the sums and all that shit, and have actual shit in there for the numbers, and have it and have an autofill and all that. But it's like still, it's just like, oh my god, it's horrible to use.
It's not user friendly. That's my problem.
Oh,
but it's not. It is so ungodly hard to get used to. Like the fact that you have to get certified, you can have a certification to use it. It makes it known that it's not meant for the plebs of normal life.
Exactly. Oh, fun fact. It was back on. What was it? It was on Wednesday. I'm in a business class. It's over in vocational because it's it's the whole other section. It's not a part of the school. It's a whole business section over there.
Yes.
And so it's like I'm over there and for Moss and all that shit. And so it's like they have a whole nother like end of course exam for that has to do with business in general to make sure it's like you can be certified in being like a business professional and say like, look, you are a certified like ready for a cubicle job. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
but cubicle jobs are nasty and nobody wants them.
Exactly. That's why I'd rather be like a telecommunicator or like someone who handles shit over the phone because that's the most flexible hours ever.
You just have to talk on the phone. You could do it from your house.
That was my fucking idea. My mom was like, you could do that like either as a summer job or even just like at college. She's like, and I was like, exactly. I could do it at home. I could sit here. I could fucking be editing and then in between calls and then I can fucking pull it up and be like, yes, hello, how may I help you?
Currently, my dad does have some hookups because he is like the biggest hookup man on the planet. He knows everybody because, of course, when you're in the Army and in the profession he was in, you got to know everybody. So he just knows so many people and then goes back to college at 40-something years old, goes to Austin P, gets another degree, and I don't exactly remember what it was, but I do know that it was like an MBA, I think.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, but he worked in like vet success because he's a vet.
Yeah.
And that, of course, I don't think I need to explain that. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
A veteran guy works in a vet success office at campus.
It's like, trust me,
he just knows so many people. It ends up getting me into like he knows someone that can get you a $10 an hour job as a telemarketer.
Oh my God.
All you got to do is read a few lines, and if they hang up, you just move on to the next person on the list.
That's so good.
$10 an hour in an office building. I could do it.
Hell yeah. Because it's like that's the easiest shit ever. But okay, hold on. We're getting off topic now. But
we're getting off topic.
Back on Wednesday. It was back on Wednesday. I was like halfway through realizing it, but then we started going off about office jobs. But it was like back on Wednesday. Apparently, I've only taken 2 classes in there. One was last year, which was digital literacy, which is basically all of Moss, but like baby, just to be like, hey, look, I can take this. I can take Moss because I know a little bit about everything. And so it was like, And so now I'm in here. So I've only had 2 classes total over the 4 years. Granted, I'm only going to be here for 3, but like over the 4 years, I only had 2 classes in there. And fucking back before Wednesday, I want to say it was either in January or December. I took it wasn't the end of course test, but it was the overall management test, like the thing that makes you certified to take an office job. And it was like, oh, okay. So I didn't know half that shit. Like when I took the practice test, I got a 70 on it, and it was like, hey,
oh my god,
it was like that's passing, and I was like, all right, done. And I took the actual one, and then I passed it. And so it's like, okay, cool. At the end of the year, I could literally just leave without getting my fucking high school diploma or anything like that, and I could go get like a semi decent job, but I'm not gonna.
You could get like a what, $60K a year office job.
Exactly, but it's like fucking. But on Wednesday, cause she notified me on Tuesday, because we of course had Monday off and everything. But she told me on Tuesday that she had called. She told everybody in the class, because it was a thing, and she was like, "I called all your guys' 6th period teachers to let them know that you're gonna come here to take the end of course test." And I was like, "Hold on a minute. There's an end of course test I'm taking that I don't even know. It was basically all the same shit that was on the certification test. So it was like, hold on a minute." You're making me take an official test that I haven't gotten the score for. It has been sent for grading. Like, it supposedly will get back somewhere around spring. Around, like, spring break is when I'm going to get told if I pass it or not. And it's just like, oh, okay. And so I came in. It's like, it's a 2-hour test. I sat down.
So, like...
I sat down and forced myself to work slow. And even by forcing myself, I got it done in an hour. Oh, my voice.
Oh no, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh god.
Can you still hear me fine? You just camed your pants.
Yeah, that's my sneeze, y'all.
My Wi-Fi is being a little iffy right now. So tell me if I cutting out. Okay, there.
You did for a second, and that's why I was like not talking.
Yeah, but it was like, no, it's like it was a 2-hour test, and I forced myself to work slow because I didn't want to get done before the end of 6th period. So then I'd go to 6th period for like 5 minutes at the end, because I'd rather just be like, I'd rather miss the whole class than go back and then get all this work that I'd have to do the next class period. That. So I was like, okay, I forced it to work slow, and right as it rolled around, like then an hour, the entire 6th period passed. Even a little before that, I turned in the 2-hour test in an hour.
I see we're following the trends of previous discussed topics of finishing things under the deadline. Yeah.
It was just like, all right, well, there's that. And it's like, I got a tendency for that shit. It's like, same with you when you just gave me the story back at Sea of Thieves that we're going to probably have to tell on the podcast at some point.
We're totally going to have to tell it now because...
But it's like, well, like here in a second. But it was like, it's just like that same shit. It's just like, you'll have this amount of time. It's the same for like the other ones. They're like all the other certification tests for like Excel and Word. She was like, do you want to come in like early, like through like halfway through 6th period, kind of get out of here? I'll email your teacher. And I was like, no, I'm fine. She was like, are you comfortable taking it today? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And I took it in 55 minutes. And it was an hour. And it was like an hour-long test, and I took it in 55 fucking minutes, less than even, because it took forever for the computers to boot up. And it was just like,
oh my goodness.
It was like, how are people struggling at this? And the best part is, like, every single one of those tests, I've either finished with like an 80 or a 70. Like, I've just been basically, I'm cruising right on average.
Right on average. I like that.
Just down there. All right, here, go ahead and tell your story about finishing before the deadline.
And for the people who don't know, I was definitely not the one in the Sea of Thieves video being introduced to Sea of Thieves for the first time.
Totally not.
Thank you, Lane, for getting me addicted to Sea of Thieves and making me play it casually all the time. Appreciate that.
Exactly. Don't worry. At some point, the grind will get boring, but then we'll hit Athena's, and then suddenly we have.
Now I'm fully crab, and
I know. Don't worry. When March 20th rolls around, a secret mega update's gonna come that no one even knows what it's bringing. Like that's what we don't know is coming in that fucking update on March 20th.
At any time, can Rare Games please give us money for supporting your game?
Can we get a sponsor? Oh, here, hold on. I got Sweet Tarts. Sweet Tarts? Who owns Sweet Tarts? Nestle, you want to sponsor us? I have it sitting on my desk right now. I'll eat one.
Will you sponsor? I don't think they're going to sponsor you now because you pronounced it wrong.
Nestle, please. I didn't see the lines. Nestle.
We're working for sponsors here. We only get like 2 views, but we're working for sponsors.
Hold on. I can text them. Hold on. There's a number on here. Call or
Text
text.
the support line.
No,
I want a support line.
I'll do that.
Is this
I'll
gonna
do
be
that
your?
next time.
Okay, next time.
That'll be a whole nother one. That'll be a whole dedicated video. It won't be a
trying to get a
podcast.
sponsor from Nestle.
It'll be
If
us.
you could get a sponsor from Nestle, oh my god.
It'll be us No, this is what we'll do. Have to be when we get Sadie and maybe even like someone else on here, so we can have the manpower of 4 people, and we will go through on products we regularly use. Like I have Razer mouse. I'm using a CyberPower PC computer. I'm using Acer monitor. Like anything, we will go through the support line and ask, hey, could you please sponsor us? We use this, this, and this. We'd be totally down for doing a free ad campaign for you guys if you would have sponsored us.
Totally down.
It's like it might not be that good. Hell, if we got one of something like that where it's like, yeah, please film an ad for us. It'll be like, it would literally be, the ad would be the practice for more ads.
I would do it. I would totally sell out.
Oh yeah, I would too.
Anyways, back to what we were really going to talk about before
I talk about Nestle.
Before ad revenue came into the game. Talking about, what was it? Pre-deadline.
Exactly.
Super procrastinating, underachieving, overachieving style things.
Yeah.
So, to start this off, Evan has the worst habit of being challenged and actually doing it. When I find someone who I sound like is challenging me to do something or believes I cannot do something, I'm immediately invigorated to do it and do it better than expectations.
When they challenge Evan's alpha status, he fucking retaliates.
If you tell me no, 3rd grade Evan comes out, alpha dominant male, you can't stop me. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it quicker than you ever could.
He's going to kill the wage cucks.
So the first time this really kicked in, freshman year English. This teacher, my teacher, Miss Shelton, who, by the way, today just had her last day. She moved to a different job.
Yeah.
That was a very heartfelt goodbye.
I was gonna say, I was like, Miss Shelton, say hi.
Yeah.
Comment down below if you're watching.
Comment down below. I'll send her the link.
Exactly. She'll know.
She'll get to know.
Send her the video and a timestamp.
Anyways, freshman year, it's towards the end of the year, and she's like, all right, we're going to do this big end of the year project thing. This is going to make or break you. And I was like, all right. So I'm going to do it in the last week of school, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
Exactly.
And that was my original thing going into it, because that's how I view a lot of school things. Yeah. I don't suggest that you do that, obviously, but that's how I rolled through school. That's how I continue to roll through school. Is I'm going to not care about this.
Kids listening, don't be like Evan. Also, don't say fuck. Continue.
And be like me in 3rd grade. Anyways.
That's what I said. Don't do it.
So my teacher looks at me specifically because she knows that she was like, for the people who are overachievers in this class, and looks at me sarcastically, there's no way you're going to get this done in under like a 3-week time span, because this is a 4-page,
like a 4 essay thing, whatever.
4 essay thing with like in the thousands of words. There's no way you're going to get this finished in under like a 2-week time span. And I looked her into the eyes in the middle of class as soon as everything died down, and I said, is that a challenge? And she said, no, it's not a challenge. It's a promise. You're not going to finish it in 2 weeks. And I said, okay. And I sat back on my...
Oh, hold on. You're kind of cutting...
Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. She said, we got a lesson. And I was like, I got a project to finish. So... While she's teaching, I'm both taking notes and typing my first essay.
Oh.
And she was like, and she was looking at me the whole time like she had just messed up. She had just messed up major.
She noticed the mistake too late.
She realized that she had messed up way too late. I was already knee deep. She can't take it back now. It's just as bad as Triple Dog Dare. I was knee deep in it. Oh. So I go home, I'm grinding it out. I don't finish before 10 o'clock at night. Obviously, it's like a 3,000 word thing, 3,000, 4,000 word thing. Like, next day, come to school, walk into school, computer in hand, have a hotspot. I'm ready to go. I'm typing this essay. Make it back around in 5th period English. I'm just now wrapping up my first essay. And she's like, there's no way. I was like, there is a way. And I'm like, I'm not going to show you it. I'm going to wait till I hand it in a week.
Exactly.
Lo and behold, the same trend continues on until the 7,000 word essay, which is the big daddy. It's the 4th one, the last in the lineup. I saved it for last because I was like, I need to get all this other one done out first, because everything led up to this big fat one. It was like the conclusion essay, everything that's going to take everything from all your other essays and wrap it up into one big. It's going to be your big red bow on top. start my 7,000 word essay. It takes me 4 days to finish. 4 days of working every day to complete this masterpiece of Evan's anger and spite towards a teacher that I love very much.
Exactly.
So I finish it in a week and a half, just about a week and a half, or a thing that she allotted us a month to do, 30 whole days.
Oh.
4 weeks, and I did it in a week and a half. I handed in the day after I finished the 7,000 word essay. I proofread it all. I handed it to her in a nice folder with a cover page on it that I did the art for. Because for the people who don't know, I do my own art. I do art all the time. I draw all the time. I did the own cover art. I do so much, and I did the own cover art for my paper. I handed it in to her. I said a week and a half. I beat you by 3 days. And then I sit down, and she just puts it aside and waits until everybody else is done to grade it. Now, she said I wouldn't be able to finish it in a week and a half time span. She never said it was going to be perfect in a week and a half time span.
Exactly.
Turns out I messed up a topic on somewhere around the third essay and got like a 74 on both the third and last essay. Did the presentation, got a perfect 100 on it. I hate presentations, but I was like, I'll be damned if I get a really low grade in this class.
I'll be damned if this is what kills it.
This is not gonna kill me. And I was like, okay, finish it out. We bond over this moment because she now knows not to challenge the beast in schoolwork. The thing I hate the most. Willing to do it because someone told me I couldn't.
She knows not to challenge Evan, the redhead.
Evan, the red beard. Still working on the red beard part, though.
Exactly.
I'm working on it. It's coming.
I'm almost there.
I'm working on it.
That's so good. I don't have anything like that. No, I have something like that where
share. Go ahead.
It was a project for geometry, and it was like the easiest fucking thing in the world. But I was just the laziest son of a bitch ever, and it was right before spring break. And I remember it was like right before spring or fall break, one of the two, where there was like a weird few day period where we weren't in school. And I remember it was due before then. Well, I put it off the entire time. So then the day before break, she tells me, she's like, I haven't seen it in there. I was like, shit, I'm too deep in the lie of saying I'm getting it done or I've done it. I was too deep in that lie to say I didn't do it. Otherwise, she would be like, well, why didn't you do it? I would get a hold of the talk with it. And so I was like, well, I thought I turned it in. I was I don't have it on me at the moment. And she was like, here, come here. And I looked through the bag. I didn't look. I pretended I flipped through all the ones in the tray that were all sitting there that people have actually done.
And you just know that it's not in there. You're
exactly.
Just I gotta go home and do this.
I know. I was like, I don't see it in here at all. Well, no, I couldn't go home and do it because it was the day before break. Is when she told me, and I was like, if I can't find it, or if I can't happen, I said if I can't happen to find it, well, what would happen if I could turn it in after break? If I don't happen to find it at all? She's like, the highest I could give you is like a 75, and then I feel like that's kind of where I cracked a little because I wasn't like, okay, all right, I was kind of like, okay, like I
just take 75.
I know I got way too cheery about it though. I wasn't like, oh, okay, I'll try to find it. I was like, okay, and then I left. Like I realized too later, I was like, that kind of probably looked a little fucky. And so, no, I didn't. Here's the fun part. I didn't even do it over break. I waited the whole time. And then with like 5 pieces of printer paper and a pencil, it was like a Sharpie. I did it in second period. No colors, no nothing. Turned it in that day. I have no idea what grade I got. All I know is that I passed that class.
You don't even know what grade I just know that I turned it
in. All I know is that I didn't get yelled at by my mom for my grade dropping. That's all I know.
The satisfaction of I turned it in the day it was due after getting an extension. Most likely got something a little bit lower than a 75. Yes. Didn't care to look. Oh my god!
I never check my grades. That's my method. Is I never check my grades because my mom will check them occasionally, and she'll get notifications if it drops if it's like drops either really quickly or it drops a certain like amount, like it drops from a whole letter, and then she'll tell me. She'll be like, "Hey, what about this?" Like that happened with the NTI work in like history because, because in history like I didn't do day one because it was like a whole reading thing, and then I had to write out the answers, and I was like, oh well,
yeah.
Fuck. I was like, oh, fuck you. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then NTI days 2 and 3 rolled around. Still didn't do them. Basically, I did them and turned them in the It was a Friday, a weekend, and then they were going to be due Tuesday and Wednesday next week. I did them on the Friday and then turned 2 and 3 in, never turned in NTI day 1. Because it was like,
All right.
I am too far in. If I turned it in now, it wouldn't count as an NTI grade. It would only count as like a grade for the class. Because NTI shit, they have to collect and then send to like the office, like uptown.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit where it's like, well, because that's the thing where they're like, well, if there's not enough, we're going to cut NTI days out, which is stupid. Because, I mean, why cut the days out and extend the year for everybody? Like, you're not just saying it for students. You're just literally extending the year of school for every single person that has to work there. And
everybody involved. Yeah.
I know. It's like, what if they have shit planned around that? Which is why all the teachers were like, please just do it. Like, I didn't do any of it. The only ones I remember doing that I did were Moss, because it was all, she gave us the day after the NTI day to do it in class, because not everybody has an access to a computer. I didn't have any of the Microsoft shit on my computer. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was like a pamphlet, and it was like, put a letter in here for what this kind of body language signifies to you. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. It is a spreadsheet. Like, it was, and if I typed in it, with the spacing, you know how spacing works in that shit, where if you type something, it all moves. If I did, it would have just suddenly, everything would have been out of whack, and it would have been horrible. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing it, and I'll do it in class. And I did a physical copy of it. But the only one I did was the day of. It was algebra. I did NTI days 1, 2, and 3. And it was just like, because it was the most basic shit. Like, here's a cube made of little cubes. Each cube is like each side of the little one. Each little cube is like an inch. And so it's like, so find the area of this. I was like, okay, 4 by 4 by 4. That one. Like, it was just
that
like,
one.
It was just like, jot it down. I'm lucky when it comes to that shit. I swear to God, this is gonna sound like a very pretentious thing to say, but I feel like I lucked out in the gene pool, and I feel like my brain is wired to work well in situations like that with like math and shit.
Bad luck. I'll be right back.
Oh shit! Now I gotta carry it. I also swear I have like fucking Asperger's, because I'm smart as shit when it comes to school. All my grades this year have been very staying up high. This is only for the years. I'm probably gonna tilt this back down.
All right, no worries. It was just a small intermission.
But no, it was like, I also feel like I'm probably never gonna get diagnosed, because I'm just that kind of guy. I feel like I have Asperger's, because like at school I excel. Like, I've been keeping high grades almost the entire half of the year, but then in social situations, unless like this where it's online and I can just say whatever the fuck I want, I am shit. Like, oh, I'm horrible. I hate it. How about you? Do you have any self-diagnosed diseases?
Self-diagnosed diseases, huh? I don't like. I am a large person against self-diagnosis personally, because it's a little whack, especially in this day where people want to just diagnose themselves with depression and junk. If you have depression, help obviously, but don't self-diagnose it. Go see a doctor, please.
It's the chicks on the internet who are depressed because it's trendy. That's
stop
what kills
it. Depression ain't fun. It's not. I don't know personally, but from experience around the people who do have it,
I know it's just like
it's not a fun thing.
From talking to other people, it's not a good time.
I just personally, I think I'm man enough to admit this. I have a very bad work ethic. Like, my work ethic is usually pretty terrible when it comes to doing work on time, doing work at all. Even sometimes I just don't want to do it. And I'm just like, oh god. I feel like it's because of my lack of vitamins.
I need more Flintstones gummies.
I do. I didn't have enough as a child, apparently.
I remember those. Oh my god, I'm getting flooded with memories now. I remember waking up and eating those bad boys, and they never tasted good, but they never tasted like medicine, which in my mind makes me think they were not vitamins. They were just fucking gummies they were selling to people saying they had vitamins in them.
Yeah,
because that's always the caveat, you know what I mean? It's always like, it's like, here's medicine. It tastes like shit, but that means it's good medicine.
I've always realized the worst tasting medicine is always the most hyperactive medicine. It always works the quickest.
Exactly. Like, that's always the thing. It's like,
the things that taste like black licorice and sewage, it always works.
Yes.
But the things that taste like candy take so long or don't work at all.
I know, it's like cough syrup. It's like, tastes delicious. I'm gonna drink it and get drunk.
I'm gonna drink it and get very, very high.
I'm gonna get baby drunk.
I'm gonna take NyQuil shots in my bathroom like a third grader.
That's great. You're gonna no, it's like you're actually a third grade. You fucking walk out of the bathroom, but you're a child. So you're like, I'm so wasted, man, and you're
Taking
not.
Listerine shots in the school bathroom.
No, no. Dude, I remember today there was a fucking thing. I remember the tweet you made, saying like, kids are just savages and just complete garbage. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And I agreed with that.
Yes.
And I followed up with saying this is true. There was a day for some reason. It was only an ICP because that's when I have all the fucking dipshit kids in there. It's like that's the only class I have dipshit people like almost 100%. There's only a few other people in there that actually. I think all of them know how to do it almost, except for the few people who were just like, nah, I'm not doing it at all and not doing anything. But like they're like most of them, I think, know what to do. It's just that they never listen and they never shut the fuck up and they never give the teacher, they never give her the respect that
the light of day.
Yes, that she gives them. This little side note before I go on to the respect bit, there was fucking a day. There was like a few days where they came in and it was dudes, and it was like the same few dudes, and they barked at each other like fucking dogs. Like nothing behind
like
it.
Actually barked at each other.
Actual like deep breathing barks, not like woof woof or like bark like childish shit. It was full on like, and I was like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, well, fucking why? Are you a chimpanzee now? What are you? And it was, oh my god. But no, there was another thing that happened today. It was Friday, and she was like, and she wanted to educate, like, well, not really educate. She was an ICP teacher, so it was like she had a video from some news network. I don't even know what it was. It was your regular Fox News or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Like
yes,
generic boys with some elderly white chick, and with too blonde of hair. But it was about vaping and everything. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I don't know a lot about vaping. All I know is that I don't really care about it. If anything, I'd smoke weed because it's like that seems like a fun time. It's like and maybe vape it, but like not really vaping as a whole for like nicotine or shit. And it was a whole video. Fucking the entire time we got like 5 minutes into this 15-minute video, and then she had another video after that because her idea was to just watch videos Friday and then not do any work. And that was an easy fucking day. It was the easiest thing to do. Fuckers talking the entire time, loud as shit. And then whenever she would pause it and say, can you please stop talking? They'd be like, but we're talking about the video. And it's like, no, you fucking weren't. You were talking about vaping and not the video related to vaping. Like, it was so like, and they were like it was the principal of some other school in like Arkansas or some shit. Or like somewhere else. And it was like, he was like, I've come in the bathroom before, and there have been girls all around here, like tent cities. And I'm like, okay, weird term, but I can imagine that. You know, like the freshman, like the stereotype of the freshman in the bathroom, or the Jake the sophomore and Jewel the Jewel. The fun will never end in bathroom time.
Yes. Yeah.
Like fucking, I could imagine that. Like people literally set up with blankets and shit in the bathroom, just hitting vapes, Vape Nation it. But people were like, it was just like, what's that? They're like, what's a tent city? And they just kept fucking going to the point of where she was like, all right, fuck it. And she paused the video, turned the lights on. She's like, we're going to do work. Everybody grab a green book over there, and we're going to do vocab. I am the only person who stood up because I respected her. She's a very nice fucking lady. And I'm the only person who stood up, and someone commented about it sitting down. And I was very tempted to give them some sass because they were being very assholeish. Give them
some sass. I
was so tempted. I was legit gonna be like, it's because I'm the only one who respects this woman or some shit like that. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna say shit because otherwise they're all gonna. It's gonna make it worse. They're all gonna go, ooh.
It's gonna turn into a monkey fest all of a sudden.
They're all gonna fight. They're gonna hit him with the ooh, and then they're all gonna keep annoying me the entire class. So I was like, no, fuck it. And I just grabbed 2 books, me and the chick who sat across from me, and the chick who sat across from me is someone else who in the class who is smart. Legit, I think I'm one of the smartest fucking kids in that class, if not the smartest, because I pay the fuck attention to the point of where I'm the teacher's pet. Like, fucking, I know I'm the teacher's pet because one day she asked me to go to another room, an adjacent room, and get something out the printer. That is the testament that you're the teacher's pet. Is that she sends you to get shit out the printer.
All right.
But it was like,
I understand that.
But it was literally, I got the book, opened it up to the section, fucking 5 words. I don't think half the people in that class did the 5 words in the book.
That's kind of gross.
It's disgusting. Like, legit.
Now,
Continue.
laying the respect warrior. I like it.
I'm fucking. I'm the beta male. I respect women.
The beta. Nah, I think respecting women is the alpha move here.
Exactly. Me and you, we respect the women as true alpha males.
I try as much as I possibly can, but
Exactly.
sometimes there's a point in time
There's a
where
hoe.
there is one who does test my patience
Yes.
and
I'm not even
tries
I'm not
to
even talking
like
about like
abuse it. They
I know.
uh, I'm gonna use this as a perfect time to discuss.
Oh no.
Uh,
There's gonna be another story. This is gonna be
there is.
good.
This one's not gonna be as extensive as the other ones
It's
because I kind of dragged on a little bit in the
no,
other
it's
ones,
good.
and my bad for that.
It's all good.
So it was this year, obviously, and I not obviously, but you get what I mean.
Mm.
This is the year of Evan starting to branch out a little bit more and speak out a little bit more on my
It
opinions.
was junior year. We have a timestamp it essentially.
Junior year, which is now, wasn't too many months ago. It's in first period art class, visual art.
Mm.
Now, originally going into this art class, I figured, hey, I'm gonna do pretty good in this. I'm gonna bang it out because I do
Mm.
art all the time. It's my
Yeah,
it's my jam. I love it.
exactly.
However, the art teacher towards the beginning of the year, she has like cancer or something. It's not a deadly cancer, but she
It's
has to go
just
get treated for it,
yeah. It's like a
and ends
nuisance.
up getting a long-term sub in. She has to get a long-term sub in.
Yeah.
Long-term sub is like the worst human being on the planet.
Yeah. That's always the shit
It's
scenario.
not that's like over exaggerated worst human being on the planet. She's just not the best people
Just like
person when it comes to being a sub. Her
yeah.
name was I'm not gonna say what her name was because I don't want to be that guy.
Do it. We'll DDoS her.
We'll DDoS her whatever.
DDoS the sub.
And then so she comes in. The first few days are pretty simple, but she has this bad habit of the worst body language, the worst kind of attitude in her voice. I think it's just the natural way she sounds, where it just feels like she's giving everybody a hard time when she's not.
Okay.
Even when she's being genuine, she sounds like she's putting sass behind it.
Okay.
Now, Evan, I'm usually pretty like okay with not fighting against teachers. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
the one story maybe towards the end. It's gonna be a special treat of the one time I did
Okay.
fight back against a teacher.
It'll be the
So
ending.
hard. It'll be when we're about to wrap it up, which should be
And
uh
even after this story, you could tell it because
actually,
we're past the hour mark.
we are past the hour mark.
Mm.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah. We
We
stretched
made
it
it past
out.
the hour mark. I don't know how long we're gonna keep going, but I think an hour 30 is appropriate.
That's a good time. Just finish this story and get on to the fighting the teacher one, and that should be plenty.
All right, I'm gonna keep this very brief. So basically, ladies just always constant sass. There's a bunch of we're in a ghetto school. Just you can already see the bad mix there. It's just a bad time. Always yelling, always fighting about
Oh.
stupid things. Always basically pointless stuff all the time.
Yeah.
End up getting her to leave early,
Uh,
like a couple weeks before she was even supposed to leave, because we ended up getting her out of there real quick.
Oh my god. That's great.
It was so bad. And then the normal teacher comes back and is like salty all the time because of all the chemo, blase blase.
Yeah.
Anyway, first time I ever really fought back against a teacher was both freshman year and sophomore year. Freshman year being my STEM teacher. No, because I'm in the STEM Academy at
Yeah.
Kenwood. I'm a part of a exclusive little program
You-
for smart kids. Even though I don't want to be an
Say-
engineer, I'm doing it because it's for the cred.
You're a smart boy, by not by
I'm
choice.
decently intelligent, not by choice. So it's freshman year STEM, and I'm gonna totally say what his name is. His name is Paul Mikowski. It was Mr. Mikowski, freshman year STEM 1, intro to STEM. And we're using CAD. We're using computer generated images. We're doing that. We're doing stuff, making
Yeah.
shapes, building shapes, doing all that crap. So Mr. Mikowski, technically, by the laws of Tennessee, is not qualified at the time. Was not qualified to teach STEM at all. He was qualified to be a math teacher, but was never qualified in CAD. Never had a certificate. Never went to school for it.
Weird.
And I didn't figure that out until afterwards, after he had already long gone. I'm gonna tell you why he went long gone in a minute. We got to build up to it.
Oh,
So
no.
he was never the best at explaining things. Even when everybody did pay attention towards the beginning of there, he never was good at explaining things.
Mhm.
And one of the main basketball guys, God bless him for trying, but he's not a STEM guy. He quit freshman year halfway through the year at the cutoff point of when people get kicked out.
Yeah.
His name's Scooter Williams. Love that dude. He's a really cool guy, but not the smartest being. He always had a rough time in there, and Mr. Mikowski always gave him a rough time. I'm pretty sure because he was racist, but
Ooh.
always gave him a really rough time when he didn't get things. He was just like, "How do you not get this? It's simple."
Yeah.
Didn't dare give me a hard time because I was still in the transition phase because I had moved away from I wasn't going to school with the same people I used to because I moved to the STEM academy, whole new people, different crowd. I was still very, very sharp tongue with just about anybody who dared test my patience.
You were a little pristine boy.
I was very to myself, not very out to be friendly with people.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get my job done, go home.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to deal with Mikowski, and then one of these times, it's when I'm doing my work and I tell him I don't understand it, and he was like, "Are you dumb or something?" And I said, "What?" And I looked over at him. I turned my head so quick. I don't think I've ever turned my head so fast. I could have given myself scoliosis. I turned my head so quick. I said, "Excuse me," and he said, "What?" Like he didn't understand what he just said. I was like, "Did you just call me?" I was like, "Did you just call me dumb?" And he was like, "What?" No, and then mumbled and then went on to trying to explain it. I was like, "Okay, all right, I see how this is going." So it was so difficult for me to hold it back. It really was. And it keeps getting worse, obviously, because it wouldn't be a story unless it gets worse.
Exactly.
So moving on later through the year, he starts more and more into he starts digging more and more into Scooter. He's really into him. Now me and Scooter almost fought midway through the year because he called me fucking stupid or something, and I was just not having it. It was not my day. We almost fought. He's a 6'5" basketball player, busting over 200 pounds of pure muscle. That's not the tiger I'm trying to fight. I ended up not fighting him, obviously, because I'm still alive.
Yeah.
We get around to the middle of the year, and then Mr. Mikowski takes him out to the hallway because they're heckling at each other. They're arguing, and he takes him out to the hallway. He was like, "You're going to need a fucking prayer or something," openly in full color language. I looked at him. I was like, "What the hell, man? What's going on with this guy?" I was like, "What is this damage?" And then Scooter ends up leaving school entirely. Like, he walks out the front doors and goes. He ends up getting caught later and then getting suspended for leaving school, obviously. 'Cause you can't do that.
Yeah.
No matter how much right he had in the world.
You would say that sounds like the smartest move.
Mr. Mikowski comes back in. He was like, "That boy has a problem." I was like, "I don't think he's the one with the problem." And he said, "Excuse me." I was like, "Mr. Mikowski, I don't think he's the one with the problem." And he was like, "Are you trying?" He was like, Are you like, what's the right word?
Are you challenging me?
Are you assuming that I am the one in the wrong here? I was like, "I'm not assuming. It's a fact. You're in the wrong here." And he was like, "I think you need to go outside." And I was like, "I think you need to eat my ass."
No. That's so good.
And he was like, "I'll call the administrator." I was like, "I'll call my dad."
I'll call my dad.
Because he's 10 times scarier than you are, I promise.
Exactly. Oh, that's so
we end up jawing at it, and we're just talking. We're going back and forth. I'm getting louder. I'm about to stand up on a desk and start throwing. So I'm about to hit him. The class ends, and I'm like, he was like, "We'll talk later." I'm like, "No, we're not. We're not talking later." He was like, "You don't decide that." I'm like, "I decide whatever I want to do." And I go,
exactly.
I move on. We don't talk for the next week. Not a word, not a glance at each other. Now, my friend Trevor, who would be awesome for this podcast, by the way, we should totally get him in on. I'll let him know.
We'll get another one.
We got another guy. We got another one. He ended up moving, but at the time, he was still in the class with us.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor was always talking to me, and Mr. Mikowski looked back at me. He was like, "Do you two have something?" And he took off his glasses, held them, and he's like, "Do you two have something important to add to the class?" And I was like, "If there was anything important going on, then maybe."
Oh no!
And again, he starts off with the assuming thing, like I'm assuming something. He said, "Are you assuming that this class is useless?" I was like, "If you're the teacher, then yes, it is useless."
Oh my god. It's just pure sass.
And he was like, "Are we really going to do this again?" I was like, "I'm not the one who started this."
Exactly,
So if we're really going to get into this, then we really can get into this. And he was like, "I can go call the administrator." And I was like, "Try me." And he didn't do it. This time, I had basically exposed him as he's the beta male now. I bitched him. I caught him off guard. I caught him laughing. Problem. He challenged me and he lost.
Oh god, hold on. You're like
teacher.
You're going digital. You're going digital a little. Okay, you stopped at "I don't care" when he said that he would call the administrator. That's where you stopped.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right,
so
you're
of
good.
course I was like, I don't care, try me. And now at
Yeah.
this point, it had already been decided that he was beta male now. He
Hmm.
wasn't alpha male anymore because he taken the fattest L to a kid who's new to the school.
I'm the
He
teacher
outed it. He bitched
now.
him. That's what I did. I made him my beta male. I made him my stool
Oh,
basically.
that's
It was
so good.
it was my world now. It was my battle. He had lost. He had lost.
Oh no. No, we lost Evan. His internet crashed. Oh god.
Said to Scooter. He was like, I didn't say anything. I was like, you told me you need fucking prayer. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I was like, watch me take this to the administrator and watch me get your ass fired. And he was like, you won't do it. And I walked out and left. And I
Yeah.
went to the administrator about it, and I was like, hey, check this out. I just left this teacher's class. Blah blah blah. And they were like, we've gotten complaints like this before. We'll look into it. They don't look into it until after this break.
Yeah.
Now we come back from this break. We heckle a little bit more, and me and Trevor are talking again. He does the same BS of, do you have anything important that you need to add to this class? But this time he added a little spice to it this time.
Oh.
He said, are you being useful at all at this point in time? And I scoot my little rolly chair over to the left, and I just look at him for a good 30 seconds. I just look him dead. I look him through his soul with my patent pending break your soul stare from Firecrotch himself. I was just looking through him, and he was like, do you have something to say? I was like, I have so many things to say to you right now, but I'm just trying to find the right words to break you in every way possible.
Oh my god.
And he was like, do you think you can break me? I was like, that is not an assumption. That is a promise, and I will do it in front of everybody right now. I will make you look like a child in front of a bunch of children.
Oh my god. I love your method of the fucking, what are you assuming? I'm not assuming anything.
There's no assumption here, good
That's
sir.
the best. Oh, dude, legit.
This is full on promise mode.
Did you mean to leave the party a few seconds ago?
What party?
The call. Did you mean to leave it?
I don't think I left it.
No, you did. No, like 2 seconds ago, you disappeared out of nowhere. It said you were still online, but you just left the call, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" I was like, "No, we
Oh
lost
yeah, my
Evan."
Wi-Fi was probably being goof.
I'm gonna say, because then you joined back in, still talking, but like you didn't. But you kept talking, but there was like no gap between when you left. It was like a carry on conversation. It was the weird, like that's why I didn't say anything. It was just like you kept going from right around the point we were, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah. Anyways, Trevor ends up standing up with me as well, and he was like, I don't think what you're doing here is right. I don't think the way you're carrying out your class is right. He was like, if you don't think the way I'm teaching my class is correct, then you can leave. And Trevor walks out.
Yeah.
I start going with him. He was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going with him because I think you suck at teaching. And I went outside to go sit out there with Trevor for like 10 minutes. He comes out there and he was like, are you too cooled down? And I was like, I don't know. Are you certified to teach this class yet?
Oh.
And then he goes back inside. He looks so defeated. He's like, oh, God. He goes back inside. And then the bell rings and I go in there and go get my stuff. And he tells me, he's like, come over here. And I was like, do I really want to? He was like, I doubt it. And I was like, all right. And I go over there with my stuff in hand. He was like, I don't know why you have such a problem. And I said, stop right there. I was like, you do know why I have such a problem with you. I was like, it's because your maltreatment of other students that I'm friends with and I'm close with. Not only that, are you not certified to teach this class? And not only that, do you think taking attitude with me is the best route? And I said, I think you can choose different methods of teaching. And he was like, then I wish you luck because you're never going to get anywhere. And I said, repeat that. And I said, repeat that right now. And he said, I don't think you're ever going to get there. I was like, all right, that's all I need to hear. And I gave him fattest two middle fingers on the way out of the door. I relay this message back to the administrator.
Yeah.
The next day, I come in there, and I'm starting to feel sick at this point. I'm starting to catch the seasonal flu, right?
Yeah.
And this is gonna be the perfect little time skip in a minute. So I walk in there, and he's like, "Well, you don't look too good today." And I kind of stumbled. I was like, "Fuck off, man." When class goes by, and I'm just like, he was just like, I hope you guys have a good break, and I was like, I hope you have a heart attack. And then I go home. I end up getting the flu, and I don't come back I miss all a break. I miss a whole another week of school because of the flu, whatever. I come back. he's not there. There's a sub in there.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, there's a sub in here. I was like, I wonder if he finally like died or something. And I made that joke to the whole class period. And they were like, and the sub was like, I'm not allowed to tell you for what his business is, but he's just not here today. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I was like, I don't know if hopefully is the word, but he might be. And I was like, he might be back soon. Might have a little bit more fun in third period.
Oh God.
2 more days go by. He's still not there. I'm like, maybe. I was like, I'm starting to feel a little bad because I'm like, maybe he's got family problems.
Maybe
a whole 2 weeks goes by, and the principal comes in one day with a bunch of pink slips that say, your STEM teacher has resigned from his position as STEM teacher of Kenwood High School due to multiple complaints from student body and teacher body. We'll be replacing him with a long-term sub. And that is the end of my story.
Oh my God, that's so good. Oh my fucking God. You sassed a teacher out of the teaching position.
Out of a position.
Oh my God, that's so good.
You can ask anybody that story is true, and if I can get Trevor in here, he will relay every single thing.
I'm gonna say he will retell the story.
He will retell it just about the same fashion, and it is so great. Is that where we're gonna cut it? Is this the 1 hour 30 mark?
I think this is the perfect. We're only at an hour 15, but I feel like that's the perfect place to kind of say.
All right.
To cut it off. Evan, you've been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you can come back.
I will definitely come back.
Be a long-term
I'll definitely come back.
Instead of a guest, become a full-time person here along with me.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it.
Fucking, if you made it this far in the video, thank you for coming along. Like if you liked it, just comment down below what part you preferred. I might make a fucking, I might on the 10th one either make a compilation of all of them together, like as every single one in chronological order, or I'll get
best
like
bits.
one of the two, every one of them, and it's like a 10-hour version of every podcast, or the best bits from every podcast. And
I love that.
That's my idea. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If fucking please do whatever the fuck. Of course, it's subscribe because it just helps out with the channel a little bit. Gets us a little out there. But spreads Evan's beautiful stories to more people.
Yes, sir.
How many pages did we get through? Did we even get through a page, or are we gonna continue this next time?
We're gonna continue this next time. We're gonna pick up.
All right. No, we're not even gonna know how far you got in the page, or is that gonna be a mystery?
No, it's gonna be a mystery until I finish it.
Oh damn! Well, there you go. Now you got to tune into the next podcast. Whoever made it this far.
Yes.
Whoever is actually listening to this thing and found it.
Maybe in the future, whenever this is re-listened to.
Exactly. All right. I've had all the shit I wanted to say. Evan, do you have any final words to say?
Hopefully I get to come back next time. Thank you for having me. This is a great experience, and I'll definitely be here for the next one if you'll have me.
There you go. Well, there you go. You heard it here first. Evan coming back. Nothing greater than just a second peeing an egg to ashes.
The squeakquel.
That's what I'm going to call it.
The squeakquel.
I don't know what I'm going to call it this one, but I'm going to call it Evan the Squeakquel. Oh,
All right.
That's too good.